Hello, I am Bhavna Sharma, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce, GemTech, Greater Noida. In management accounting, we have started with the financial analysis. We have already covered the comparative statements, common size statements, and trend analysis. Further in this lecture, we are going to discuss about ratio analysis, its nature, how to interpret the ratios, the utility of ratios, limitations of ratio analysis, and classification. Now, ratio analysis is the process of computing, determining, and presenting the relationship of related items and group of items of the financial statements. So, ratio analysis provide uh, us about in a summarized form or a concise form about the financial position of a company. So, these are very important tools for the financial analysis. Now, ratios can be expressed generally in three ways. One, in a percentage form, like we can show the relationship of profit with sales. So, say, for example, if the profit is 25,000 and sales for the company is 1 lakh, so we can divide the profit with sales into 100. So, we'll get that the net profit can be said to be 25% of the sales. So, ratio can be expressed in percentage form. Second, it can be expressed in a rate form, like we can calculate the ratio between two variables like the stock and cost of goods sold or the current assets is to current liabilities. So we can get like that. Then it is a pure ratio, which is simple division of one item in another. So a rate is generally like stock turnover ratio. How many times is the stock over the uh, sales, or how many times is debtors is over the sales. So rate is say 5 times or 6 times. But in pure ratio, we have like 1:2 or 2:1. This is the ratio. Now, what is the utility of ratio analysis? First, it simplifies the financial statements, like the single figures or the absolute amount. They are not of much use. If I say that the sales for a company is 10 lakh or the profit is 50 lakhs, so a single amount or a single figure is of no use, but they become important when the relationships are established. So if I give you at least two amounts, for sales for this year is 10 lakh and for previous year it was 8 lakh, so 8:10, so you can find out the ratio, or you can know that the sales has increased or decreased from the previous period. Second utility is that it helps in financial statement analysis, as it is very easy to understand the financial position, like we can get to know the solvency position or the capital structure of the company by calculating various ratios. Next is it facilitates inter-firm comparison, like uh, the comparison with different firms can be done. So we are able to know that whether the companies are strong or weak or undervalued or overvalued. Next is it helps in calculating the operating efficiency of business. Ratio analysis enables the users of the financial information to determine the operating efficiency of the business by relating the profit to capital employed for a given period. Next is it helps in locating weak points of the business. Like when we can calculate the ratios of department wise or branch wise or unit wise. So here we are able to know about the weak points as well as the strong points. Then intra-firm comparison can be done. A firm can compare its results not only with other firms in the same industry, but also its performance over a period of time. So say for 2 years, the ratio can be calculated, solvency ratios can be calculated, or profitability ratios can be calculated. Then it helps in forecasting. Ratios calculated for number of years. It enables the users of financial information to determine the future results on the basis of past trends. And last is it helps in understanding the financial statements. Like I have discussed that suppose if I give you a period of financial statement, this is the assets and liabilities, or this is the profit, then it is of no use unless we have a comparison. So ratios is simply gives our data or financial information in a presentable form or summarized or concise form. So a layman will also be able to know, say if I give you a figures, a big figures in crores or lakhs, so it is difficult to compare. But say if I give you a simple figure like our profits has increased by 15%, or our sales have increased by 30%. So it is very simple to understand. Next are the limitations of ratio analysis. First limitation is that comparative studies required, that no single figure, so with a single figure we cannot calculate the ratios. So at least we need to have two figures. So comparative studies required. Next is it ignores qualitative factors. Same is the case because that is the basic characteristic of the financial information, that ratios are obtained from the figures which is expressed in monetary terms. So qualitative factors, even though it is very important from the company point of view, they are ignored. Then the limitations of financial statements. If the financial statements have some incorrect information, there is some missing information, or there is some overvalued or undervalued valuation is being done. So the limitations of financial statements will automatically give the wrong calculated ratios. Then ratios are sometimes misleading. Like if we take that a company's sales has increased from say 4,000 to 8,000, so we'll say that 100% increase in sales are there. And another company which has earlier sales of 10,000 and now it is 15,000, we'll say 15% increase. So only by looking at the ratios but not at the amount, then it may give some misleading ratio. So here in this case we'll say that A company is very good because A's company's sale has increased by 100% as compared to B company. But by looking at the figures, vice versa is the situation. Then ratios alone are not adequate. By giving the earlier example, so we have to depend on other financial tools also, like comparative or common size statements. Then difficulty in comparison, because suppose we have to compare with 2 or 3 different companies, so their policies may be different, their methods for calculating depreciation or any accounting method may be different. So when there is no uniformity, there is difficult to compare. And last is trends are not actual ratios. The ratios calculated from the financial statements of a business for 1 year are of limited value. So it would be more useful to calculate important figures like income or working capital or dividends for number of years. So such trends are more useful than absolute ratios. Now coming to the important part of ratios is classification of ratios. Basically, it is broadly classified into 3 categories. One is financial ratios, profitability ratios, and turnover ratios. Financial ratios are further divided into liquidity ratios and stability ratios. Now, what are financial ratios? Financial ratios tells us about the financial position of the company. So we say that a company is financially sound if it is in a position to carry on its business smoothly, if a company is able to meet its obligations on time, whether it is short-term or long-term obligations. So basically the principle of finance is that the short-term funds requirement should be met out of short-term funds and the long-term funds requirements should be met out of long-term funds. Now in financial ratios, we are going to study the liquidity ratios. Liquidity ratios are also known as balance sheet ratios because we calculate these ratios on the basis of the data of the balance sheet. So liquidity ratios, it is used to determine the short-term solvency position of the business. Like we have studied 2 financial ratios, so liquidity ratios tells us the short-term financial position, while the solvency ratios tells us about the long-term solvency position. So liquidity means the conversion of assets into cash without much loss. So the main objective is to find out the ability of business to meet the short-term liabilities, like the company has taken short-term loans, say for less than 1 year from a bank or a financial institutions, or the company has taken goods on credit from creditors. So they wanted to know about the liquidity ratios. Now, liquidity ratios are generally of three types. One is current ratio, then quick ratio, and super quick ratio. Now, current ratio tells us about the firm's commitments to meet its short-term liabilities, as all the liquidity ratios tell us about the short-term solvency position of the firm. So, it is basically the relationship between current assets and current liabilities. So, current ratio, simple formula is current assets divided by current liabilities. So, ideally, the current ratio should be 2:1. That means after paying off the current liabilities, the company must have certain current assets to meet the payments in future. So current assets should be at least twice as that of current liabilities. So higher the ratio, better it is. So higher ratio, a very high ratio is not desirable because it means less efficient use of funds. So whatever, uh, obviously liabilities has to be, current liabilities has to be paid out of current assets. So after that also the company needs some current assets in the form of cash or cash in bank or in the form of stock. So very high ratio means the idle funds are being lying. So that extra funds can be invested somewhere in a very, you can say, marketable securities or short-term assets to get the return. What is quick ratio? Quick ratio is the relationship between liquid assets and the current liabilities. So if we talk about the current ratio, current assets means the cash in hand or cash at bank, stock, debtors, prepaid expenses, while the current liabilities are the bank overdraft, creditors, outstanding expenses, bills payable. So the difference between current assets and liquid asset is when we deduct or remove the prepaid expenses and stock from the current assets. Whatever is left is the liquid assets. So liquid assets means they are either in cash form or very easily can be converted into cash. So stock may take some time and prepaid expenses are actually not in the cash form. So quick ratio is also known as the asset test ratio or the liquidity ratio. So the formula is liquid assets upon current liabilities. So ideal quick ratio should be 1:1 or higher. So that means the company's liquid assets should be equal to the current liabilities. Next is the super quick ratio. Super quick ratio tells us the relationship between super quick assets and current liabilities. Now super quick assets means only in cash form or ready to in cash form, like cash, cash in hand, cash at bank, or marketable securities. So super quick ratio should be at least 0.5:1. So super quick assets should be half of the current liabilities. So we'll discuss the numerical portion of the liquidity ratios in next lecture. Thank you.